Here we are in the first quarterfinals match of today. Spawning in the top right hand corner for Team Fnatic. It is Soul. And once again, that decal bug is rocking out. Because, of course, Soul was on max flow, I do believe. But now he is on Team Fnatic. Very nice pickup for them because Soul is an amazing Terran player. So let's see how he will do against his orange Protoss opponent who has spawned in the bottom left hand corner. It is going to be DMC from Vega Squadron. Now finally something other than a PvP. So many PvPs have already been played in this setup. Also a lot of ZVZs are going on, but well, I've already casted quite a few ZVZs yesterday. So getting a nice PvT match is definitely going to be a very nice change of pace for me right now. I actually don't think that I have casted a single PvT yesterday. Yeah, that definitely makes me sad because it's one of my favorite matchups for sure. But let's see how these players are going to open. I do believe that Soul will open up with a command center first, as he has not started his barracks at this point at all. DMC is opening up with a gateway, and he has set it up perfectly so he can go for a wall off between the simulator, the gateway, and probably the Cybernetic-Core will be placed exactly here. Now he is opening it with a double gas, which can of course always mean something like Oracle play. And he's even getting a pylon a little bit hidden inside his main base. And especially if Soul is not going to go for that scout, it can get pretty weird very quickly for him. Especially because he went for that command center first. He's not going to have a whole lot of Marines out for the defense. So an Oracle in this setup would be amazing. Finally, of course, we do see that the barracks has come down. Should usually not wait with the gas geysers too much after this, but he first wants to get another barracks down, and he is going to do that just fine, as he's also sending out an SCV across the map. Now DMC is finishing up his cybernetic cores exactly in the place, of course, that I described it. Against the Reaper, this is pretty powerful because in this entire area you can pretty much drop your tech, and there's no way for Soul to really find out what that is without losing his Reaper. But now the Cybernetic Core is done. The next is going to be on the way, and most likely we will see the Mothership Core first. But he can put those extra probes on gas mining and get the tech out a little bit faster. He's also going to spook Soul a little bit. He only spotted 2 of the pylons, which means, of course, that there can be a proxy. It's not going to be guaranteed that there is one, but there is potential to be one. Now the barracks are finishing up, churning out a few of those Marines. Also gas geysers will be plopped down so he can get the add-ons, get the reactor, get the tech lab, and also get some marauders, and also of course tech up into the factory and the Stargate for some drop play. But what is the tech choice from DMC going to be? It is a Twilight Council. Did not expect that. I'd really love to see that Stargate play with the Oracle, especially in this setup. But it is not going to be that. It's going to be a Twilight Council. Would not be surprised to see Dark Templars being used. And if he is going to put down the robotics facility fairly soon, that is definitely what it will be. But his natural base is going to be done. The Stalker is still chilling out, making sure that if there is a Reaper, it is not going to come into the base that way. But did he even send out a scout at all? No. DMC has been playing completely blind so far. Finally, the second Stalker will keep him a little bit more safe. But he's not even poking with the Stalkers, and with the bunker from Soul at the front, I really don't think that these Stalkers would be able to do anything at all. But at least he could make sure that no units are leaving the base of Soul without him knowing about it. The first engineering bay will go down. There's a tech lab and a reactor on the way. The tech lab, of course, so he can go into stim. And he's still mining the gas to go into the factory a little bit later. But he has a few Marines inside of his main base. 6 is, of course, the magic number to send away an Oracle without it letting him kill all of the Marines, of course. It's just a counting game. If there are 6 Marines, your Oracle has to avoid them. If there are less than 6 Marines, you can kill off the Marines. But let's see, the robotics facility is going to be on the way. No Dark Shrine, it's going to be Blink. And, well, I can really dig that. going for Blink and later Colossus play can be pretty powerful. First the Observer, that's going to give him the initial scout, because still looking at his vision, he has not sent out a single unit, not even a Stalker to the Xel'Naga Watchtower, or even a probe to put down a proxy pylon anywhere. Now scan is going to go down, it will reveal the tech, but not the Twilight Council with Blink that is currently being chrono boosted out. He only sees that there is a robotics facility, so he's going to be worrying about Colossi quite a bit. And then only now his factory is finishing up. He will go into Starport after this. But of course it is a little bit later than you would normally see. And of course, if you are going straight into Viking production, you're not going to have any medevacs to really deal with a stim that is putting a strain on your army. So a very nice setup for DMC. I really like his position in this game so far. No possibility for aggression, but Soul's economy is looking to be flying. Work account is equal, which means with the double mules from Soul, he is going to be in a good position economically. And he of course also has the scans. The Stalkers have moved out. Remember, they do have Blink. There's no Colossus waiting back at home or anything like that. This is also not at all in whatsoever. And this is pretty much a very low committal. Stim is about to be done though, and he has to be careful not to let those units be caught out of position. Losing one of the Stalkers for 2 Marines, that's not going to be worth it, of course, because Stalkers do cost gas. And DMC really needs that gas. Also, both players already going to go into a very quick third base. A very passive game so far. But if this goes on and DMC gets the time to build his death army, it can get pretty tricky. But what I am starting to worry about right now is that there is a lack of forges from DMC. He has not gotten a single forge just yet, and we are already at the 10-minute mark. Looking at the upgrades of Soul, he has the +1 attack already finished up. He's going to get into combat shields. He did not go into the +1 armor. I'm a little bit surprised about that, with both these players really delaying their economy quite a bit. But there will be the first drop now from Soul. He is sending out a double medevac drop, but with the pylons in position, I don't think that this should do all too much damage to DMC. He might pick off 1 or 2 pylons. The Stalkers will even be in position right now. He saw them with the observers that he has on the map. And those drops are not going to do anything. Just as expected. Finally, we do see DMC put down the double forge. Did any of the players already spotted the third base? Well, it's still completely in the dark. He's going to spot it with a few units that we're trying to go for the drop. He's going to go the long way around, of course. But also the third base has not been spotted by DMC just yet. So really an extremely passive game. But he has to be careful. This army will still relatively easily pick off a Nexus if there are no units here for the defense. Luckily for DMC, there is going to be quite a few units here for the defense. Shaves off a few units with the force fields being used very nicely. And we do now see a very weird transition, something that I did not expect to see. There are 3 factories on the way, churning out 2 siege tanks. Double Viking production is going to be on the way. And we do have Stimpack on those units, of course, but there is a double armory that has been put down. So he opened up Bio, he's switching it up into Mech. There are now going to be quite a few Colossi on the way, but Colossi is not really the unit that you want against a heavy Mech play. Immortal is going to be quite a bit more useful. Also, you can battle for the air dominance, but usually Thors will be able to shut that down. But the amount of tanks that is already out is getting pretty out of hand already. So very interesting play right now from Soul. Ghost Academy, of course, for the Ghosts to get those shields away from Immortals once DMC has scouted this. But this has not been scouted at all. He has not seen the main base of Soul at all. He has seen 1 bunker and a refinery. That's all that he has seen. He's just trying to build up his army back at home. He's going to be very lucky that he already has Blink on those Stalkers, but he still has to be very careful. He is not aware of the composition that that Soul has chosen so far, and that can be one of the most dangerous things. +1/+1 is finishing up for DMC. Also +1/+1 for his mech is about to be done, and if those Vikings get good upgrades, Colossi really are not going to do anything at all. But let's see. 4th base, still the gas have not been taken. It looks like DMC wants to move out right now. But he is going to have a bit of a surprise once he finds out what the army of Soul really consists of. He's already seen quite a few bio units, so suddenly seeing that there are mostly tanks on the map, that is pretty awkward to face. But he clears out the Xel'Naga Watchtowers. Did he already get a glimpse of this army? Well, he might have. But at least the 4th base will get cancelled immediately. Siege tanks are going to be sieging up. The Vikings and bio units are moving forward a little bit. Immediately another 2 orbital, well, another 2 commanders will start. The siege tanks are gonna hammer down on this army, but the bio units, they are not very much upgraded. The Colossi are doing so much damage from the back. The Vikings are going to reign victorious. The Stalks are just melting away right now, and Soul has taken a pretty decisive fight here. And there's going to be the GG. Did not expect that composition from Soul. And if you adjust to it too late, your army will get obliterated.